All right, my royal family. All right. That is Just Between Us by Norman Brown. Let me know if the sound is good. Give me a number 17. If the sound is all good, do y'all hear my voice loud and clear, my royal family? So just checking in with y'all first. All right. Thank you, dark-skinned brother. Thank you. All right. So I said I wasn't going to let too much time lapse because Mercury is back in retrograde, and it is my duty and responsibility to keep the royal family informed. And we're going to go over this. I like to keep it short and sweet. I don't like to drag things out and all. So we'll see what we do on here today. So before we get started, I like to start in prayer to show Yahweh the utmost respect. So, in the name of Yahweh, I pray for the many oceans, lakes, rivers, and streams. I pray for every blade of grass, every grain of sand, every flower, and every tree. And as I pray these prayers, I pray that my prayers are heartfelt, and I pray that my prayers are heard. I pray for the sick, and I pray for the suffering, and I pray for the overall royal family. Ashe, and again, how's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, my royal family, I know a lot of y'all in here have heard me do numerous lives when planet Mercury is back in the retrograde phase. And then there's some people that are new to it. Now, when you are listening to the enemy, they want you to fear what they cannot conquer. And so my father taught me about retrograde. I was about 9 years old, and I have not stopped studying since my father has passed about retrograde, and I have learned some things about retrograde. And so, when some people learn about it, they start fearing, and it's like there was a phase in your life you didn't know nothing about retrograde, and you survived it. These are the fear tactics that the enemy like to project towards the royal family. So we're going to get into it, my royal family. And let me put this link in here. And would y'all put the some of my subscribers put the other links in? Because I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to put that one in there, and then I want to focus on what I want to focus on. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the calendar so y'all can get a visual and an understanding about retrograde and what's going on. All right. So let's get over here and do a screen share. Okay. Okay, let's get into this first one. Okay. So before we get started, y'all got to let me know, do y'all want me to blow it up anymore, or can y'all see that? I want to make sure, to the best of my ability, I want to make sure that y'all trying to please everyone is kind of hard, but do I need to open it up anymore? Just let me know. Y'all cool with that? Are you? Because I'll get the rolling. Okay. Dark Sim Brother said he can, y'all can all, okay. 2 people have said, okay, y'all good. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you go on your own, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be on the enemy's platform when they get to talking about retrograde. And they'll tell you that retrograde only lasts for 3 weeks. And I have proven throughout the years that is not true whatsoever. So this is how retrograde works. Retrograde is in 3 phases. The first phase, which we are still in, it's stages for about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. All right. It stages. Then it hits direct for about the same amount of time. Then it descends. Now, the enemy will tell you when it stages, which is, when it hits direct, which is what you see in the red on the calendar, that's how long it lasts. No, it does not. From the time it stage, from the time it hits direct, and from the time that it descends, the magnetic forces from planet Mercury are felt. And I've even had y'all email me behind the scenes because you're paying attention and you're like, oh, wow, this thing is still lasting. And we have to, we even know that this calendar ain't even true and correct. Our new year is coming in a few short weeks. And I will be doing a live about our new year because I found some more information on it. And like what I really try to do, even though I repeat myself a lot about retrograde, I always try to find something new, what I'm even learning, because what I'm learning, you can do this research on your own. So keep in mind what you are looking at. It don't matter when it starts staging. It doesn't matter what phases. It's in 3 phases. It doesn't matter. Okay. Before I go to the next phase of this, is there any questions anybody want to ask about retrograde? And we can be all over the place too about it. I'm not even tripping. If anybody lost their wrenches or anything, let me know, because they'll, you know how YouTube get down. They be messing with our channels, and some people can get real bent out of shape when they done lost their wrench. And for me to take somebody's wrench is extremely rare. You tripping, if you got that wrench, the pimp hand is very real over here. Use it however you're going to use it. All right. So nobody don't have any questions. So we're going to, so y'all understand what I'm talking about. That, and I came up with that one day because I was like, what is going on? As long as I've been knowing about, why is it that all of a sudden my microwave then went out, or my vacuum cleaner then went out, or I'm having mechanical issues? What is that planet? What is that planet projecting? And one day I said, oh, it's the magnetic forces from that makes sense because your cell phone start jacking up, and it's really deep. Now, one thing about retrograde is communication becomes an issue. All right, you're gonna see freak dents, and I'm gonna present stuff to you, and it's really interesting. Every single retrograde, there's a power outage and a collapse bridge in the world. And years ago, one of my subscribers, because I couldn't put the connection together with the bridge thing, and said something deep to me. She said, well, a bridge, when you build a bridge from one destination to another, then you're able to effectively communicate. A lot of sense. Okay, let me see here. Yes, yes, Muhammad. Yes, they are. And they just recently bait us about possibly Trump pardoning him and stuff, because the enemy is pissed because we're not out in these streets protesting, because there's a lot of stuff going on, because these cops, they want to bust some heads, but you notice when they own is out there protesting, they show restraint. And so they're trying to lure us. Oh yeah, they're trying to. So keep in mind, things are not what it seems. People have a tendency to jump to conclusions. So let me do another screen share as I'm speaking on this with the royal family. Okay, I know which one to get. Let me see here. I'm gonna read something to y'all, and then I'm gonna show something to y'all. When Mercury is in retrograde, they say do this: revisit past projects, unfinished tasks, double check emails and documents for errors, and back up your electronical devices. Reconnect with old friends or contacts. Practice mindfulness and patience when plans go haywire. Strive for clarity in communication and avoid misunderstandings. Avoid this: signing contracts or making big commitments. Purchasing big items like electronics or vehicles. Arguments can be caused by miscommunication, assuming things will go as planned. Rushing decisions, instead give things more time than usual. Launching new projects, wait until after retrograde. All right. Okay, now let me present what I'm going to present. Okay, let me take this one down. And I'm going to go into this. Something I've showed y'all before, but I always like to re-show it to give y'all some. It's always good to give people a visual of something. Let's see, where is the next one? Okay. Before I get started, I want to make sure that y'all can see that. If I have to blow that up, well, I can already tell, even looking on my end. That's great, dark-skinned brother. I'm glad that you're learning. Okay, let me blow this up a little bit more so y'all can see this. Okay, let me go back over here. So, focus on using your intuition rather than logic, looking at problems or issues from a new perspective or with a new understanding, being flexible, especially when traveling. Double check all details. I cannot emphasize that enough. A lot of people be sending the wrong emails to people, and people be, sometimes you don't maybe want somebody to read something. Ensure that your hard drive and smartphones and tablets all have fresh backups. Getting a tune-up before heading off on a road trip. This is a good time to be creative. So they say paint, draw, dance, read, write. And everything is focus on reorganizing, slow down, all right? Meditation, journaling. Accept that there may be frustrations, redos, delays, miscommunication, and meltdowns, all right? So it's any major purchases or negotiations or signing contracts. See, this is going to affect the government because Trump is just sitting up there signing and doing he trying to do all these big things. And you're going to see these big things that him and Elon is trying to do ain't going to pop off. And I'm going to show that in a little later. Making life changes. Just slow down and hold on and give it a few more weeks and then make that move. Now I've heard what I'm getting ready to read on this one. This one has happened to a few people I've known on going on a first date. That ain't good at all. Things are not what it's stuff all together. Ain't good at all. Don't behave recklessly. Going over stuff already read. Okay, arguing and fighting. Usually, just at a drop of a dime, people just go off because they misunderstanding again. Starting a new job or signing a new lease or buying a new house. Assuming any understanding on another part during this time. Launching a new business or putting on big events. All right. Now keep that on your frontal lobe. Let me get back over here because I couldn't see y'all and what y'all have in here. My volume is going in and out. Oh, thank you. How do I sound now? Do you hear me clearly? Yeah, you're right about that, dark-skinned brother. It's not good to get any surgeries, and mainly it's not good to get any dental work. I had a subscriber email me years ago and said her sister had some dental work and ended up being hospitalized because your mouth communication, people have major toothaches around the retrograde phase. Okay, so you paying attention. That's good. That is good. Because I like reading your comments. Okay. All this month, retrograde phase. All right. All of this month and all. Now, I don't want y'all fearing this. I'm really serious about this because that's what the enemy wants. Keep in mind, what the enemy cannot conquer, they want you to think about that. They're always trying to pull our energy into certain things. And thank y'all for putting up the links for me. I appreciate it. Fine. So let me see. Wow. See that? That your daughter, she got to get her wisdom pulled. Is she suffering really bad? And you make your own, because sometimes you just got to do what you got to do, and all. But sometimes it don't affect people. But there's a few. Sometimes retrograde affects me that I literally can feel the weight of the universe on me. I mean, it'd be heavy. No, retrograde is all this month and all next month. And the enemy's calendar is not accurate. That's why I was saying it don't last 3 weeks. It normally lasts 6 weeks. Sometimes it stretch out. That's why I often say pray and meditate and listen to the universe. We are empaths. See, we built these planets. We ain't the only ones here. And it's so much distraction. There's so much distraction going on, we lose sight. And so I felt compelled to do this live so we don't be so damn distracted by all the mess that's going on in the universe. And the enemy is going to always, it don't matter what time of year it is, always going to project fear. All right? What you say, we have positive spiritual energy while they have negative spiritual energy. They have to devour our energy to feed themselves on it. Positive spiritual energy feeds it from doing positive things. That's right. That's why I totally ignore their new year. And like I said, I found something that I'm going to read to the royal family because our new year is in a couple of weeks. Pretty much talking about what I just read. So we're going to have some fun here because I try not to make it so boring. And let me take this screen share down, and I'm going to really get into something real heavy and point out how retrograde is affecting Elon Musk. Yeah, I mean, if it's like the tooth is just like driving you crazy, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Don't take my words literal, because you know what your immediate situation is, and it's all about preparation and all of that. Don't put yourself in undue suffering. It is not always a given that something is going to go wrong, but all I'm saying is to be mindful about these things, okay? Because I don't have all the answers over here. We in this together, my royal family. So you want to see how Elon is being. All right. Is the sound cool, family? Because I've been having issues with my computer the last 2 weeks. And my computer is new and everything, but sometimes it affects people. So is my sound going out? I'm not playing the video yet, but can you hear my voice? I am back. So just be patient, my royal family. These things happen during these times, and usually during the retrograde phase, what really affects me is my computer. Okay, you're gonna wait on the tooth. Okay. So I had made a prediction, and I kind of said it a little bit over on Lisa's channel, that they were saying that that Elon would be launching another rocket in March. And I said, that rocket ain't going nowhere. So I made a point of watching it. So when it got down to 40 seconds, that rocket sat on that platform for over 5 minutes before his folks said, oh, we shutting it down. They couldn't figure out what was going on. Now, remember what I said about the magnetic forces from planet Mercury. Keep that in mind. And this powerful rocket, because, they had to delay one day, and then Elon wanted to force the issue. And I'm going to tell you why he was trying to force the issue after I play this video.
What is that, like a meteor shower? A shocking sight in the sky, just minutes into the...
There it is. Boom. Oh my God.
The world's largest rocket spinning out of control before breaking into pieces. Fiery debris visible in the sky across Florida and parts of the Caribbean. The explosion even disrupting air travel. The FAA temporarily diverting planes and grounding aircraft. Florida hubs, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Orlando.
So it was a bright white flash in the sky. I wanted to make sure first and foremost that it wasn't tumbling at us.
It was the 8th test mission for Starship, which SpaceX CEO Elon Musk hopes one day can reach Mars. Are hard. The scene almost identical to a similar mishap less than 2 months ago, when Starship Test Flight 7 also ended in a ball of flames. Was likely due to leaking fuel propellant. This time around, the company made upgrades to the spacecraft. But while the rocket's booster was able to successfully return time in a row, just minutes later,
you can see we've lost several engines.
SpaceX pointing to a, quote, energetic event in the aft portion of Starship, causing the rocket to lose orientation.
Fortunately, this happened last time too.
And just like last time.
Now, are y'all paying attention to language, my royal family? Did you hear what that guy said? He said something about they lost contact, communication. Pay attention to language.
Pieces of the spacecraft came raining back down to Earth. The FAA once again launching a mishap investigation to determine what went wrong, adding Starship will remain grounded until that investigation is complete.
We're going to be right back here in the not too distant future, and we're going to get a ship to space.
Marissa, any sense of where the debris landed and whether there was any damage?
Yes, Savannah, that is the #1 concern and question. And I can tell you so far, no reports of any injuries or significant damage as a result of this. I can tell you SpaceX claims that all of the debris fell within the pre-planned debris response area, that none of the materials pose any toxic hazard to the water or marine life. I will point out, however, that my contacts on the ground from Turks and Caicos from the last mishap say they are still finding those pieces. So certainly some cleanup potentially to come in the affected areas, Savannah.
All right, let me shut that down. I don't want no pop-ups here. That's just amazing to me how they let some damn dope thing he out here playing, sending these rockets and shit into the atmosphere, and they're gonna sit up and lie and said it does not affect marine life. Trip, tell us what it not affects and all. I knew this was gonna happen. Ocean Soul, how am I sounding now? Yeah, all that money being spent. Start with him. And what I don't understand is, why do we need another rocket program? We already got NASA entertaining the ideal of him taking over NASA. He don't need to have no parts of that. You're gonna see some folks dying. You know. Yeah, see, Elon wants to make it to the moon. That's what he's trying to do. And see, he lacked patience. And if that would have been successful, that's why he was pushing it so hard, because his name been successful, because that's the 8th rocket that he didn't try to send off into the universe, and look what happens. Okay. Okay, let me go in another room. I'm relocating, family, to see if we can a lot better, so I'm not fading in and out so much in my house. Okay. All right, my radio family. I'm in another location in my household, and let me know how this sound is going. No, it's not. Well, it could be a combination of both. Screw Tube could be messing with me too as well. But the room that I'm in now, usually I don't have any issues with my computer in this particular room. So basically, let's backtrack on what I was talking about. I was saying, showing before I get started, that video that I showed y'all, did that come in clearly, or do y'all want me to replay that video? It's up to y'all, and then I can point out some things. Yeah, you're right, Marine brother. Yeah, this room is better. So forgive me for that, my royal family. I knew better. I knew I should have been in this room. Okay, I'll replay it. No problem. It's my joy and my duty to do that for the royal family. Let's go backtrack on that. Let's see here. Which one was that? Make sure I get it right. Oh, here it is. That's some straight BS. That's some straight ass BS. It really is. They insulting our intelligence with that. Let me see here. What are y'all saying here? I like reading comments. That's where all the wasted money is going, because he out here playing, and then they come up with some bullshit excuse of why it didn't, what didn't happen, and it was safe, and it didn't affect marine life, and all that kind of stuff like that. But I knew this was going to happen. And that was the magnetic forces plus his screw up. Because see, he wants to rush things. Because what I was reading to y'all about retrograde was, check it out, launching a new business or putting on big events. Now you would imagine, as much blowback as Elon getting, the enemy is always trying to use a distraction. They said, and that's behaving recklessly. And that's what Elon does. And they saying things that are affected is anything electronical. And remember, I was saying the magnetic forces from that planet. Yahweh said that ain't going nowhere. And he wasn't willing to accept because he was frustrated. He don't like doing redos. He don't like delays, but there was delays. You seen the delays, my royal family. With his mess up, people could not fly where they had to go. They had to ground the planes for over an hour because this little dope fiend want to launch his toys out into the sky. And I don't understand why America need a new space program. And then they want this idiot he wants to take over NASA. He don't need to take over. See, one thing that I have, they talk about how he's such a super genius, but you notice he just take over stuff. I ain't heard him invent nothing. Oh, yeah. So, as we continue on, because I want to rub it in deeper, we're going to get into this next one. So, y'all know that Elon and Marco Rubio had a knockdown drag out yesterday. And what I want to see if y'all really listening to me. What do I keep saying that's an issue during the retrograde phase and things that happen with people? I want to see if y'all really listening to me as I put this up. There's things that gonna be pointed out during this next video that I'm going to show the royal family, and some of the language be thrown right in there. It's just it amazes me. Okay, so I'm going to do another screen share here.
Today on a confrontation of sorts inside the White House between Elon Musk and several members of Donald Trump's new cabinet, with Donald Trump sort of reduced to the role of spectator. The Times cites 5 people with knowledge of the confrontation, reports this about an argument between Elon Musk and Marco Rubio. Quote, "You fired nobody," Musk told Rubio, then scornfully added that perhaps the only person he had fired was a staff member from his Department of Government Efficiency. Rubio had been privately furious with Musk for weeks, ever since his Doge team effectively shuttered an entire agency that was supposedly under Rubio's control, the United States Agency for International Development. Musk was not being truthful, Rubio said. What about the more than 1,500 State Department officials who took early retirement in buyouts? Didn't they count as layoffs, he asked sarcastically, whether Musk wanted him to rehire all those people just so he can make a show of firing them again. Then he laid out his detailed plans for reorganizing the State Department. Musk was unimpressed. He told Rubio he was, quote, good on TV, with the clear subtext being he wasn't good for much else. Where was Donald Trump in all this? The Times reports that he sat back as if he was watching a tennis match. Ultimately, he, quote, intervened to defend, wait for it, Rubio. Said he was doing a great job. Rubio has a lot to deal with, the president said. He's very busy. He's always traveling and on TV. And he has an agency to run. So everyone just needs to work together, end quote. And then for the first time since his inauguration, Trump put some restraints on Elon Musk. From this reporting, quote, from now on, he said, the secretaries would be in charge. The Musk team will only advise. Joining our coverage, host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, president of the National Action Network, the Reverend Al Sharpton, joins us. Christy and Michael are still here. Rev, I have been watching the Bannon-Musk power struggle with keen interest since it first emerged during the campaign. And I think I said on television, do not ever bet against the guy who was willing to go to jail to not testify before Congress, and the guy who sort of in I don't know if his life, I don't know enough about his life, but who seems to understand the base and the most powerful elements of the Trump base better than anybody in Trump land, and that is Steve Bannon. And I don't have any idea if Bannon has any role in all this, but it does seem like Musk has stumbled not by taking more attention from Trump, which is how most people stumble, but by dirtying him up politically. The things that Musk is doing are not popular among Republican voters in Republican districts.
That's the whole point. I think that Musk could get away with a lot, but he cannot in any way endanger his popularity. When he starts seeing polls coming down based on things that Musk got him to do or that Musk did in his name, that gets his attention. You got to remember, a narcissist is about him. And when you are doing things that in any way injures or besmirches the image of the narcissist, he's got to react. All the logic in the world doesn't matter. Everything else doesn't matter. But wait a minute, he's making me look bad. I don't care how rich he is. And I think that that's what Musk is going to run into here.
What's interesting, though, is that this is a different Trump because the co-presidency has been going on since the beginning, and that doesn't bother Trump. What bothers him and what has always, I think, sustained him politically is this reptilian survival sense that if all the Republicans are voted out of office in 2 years, that is a much bumpier road.
It's a much bumpier road. He knows that it will kill anything that he wants to leave as a legacy. And there's no way of stopping that if the polls keep dropping. I think that we really have to understand Donald Trump, at the end of the day, is about Donald Trump. And he's not going to share that with anyone. Spotlight, he doesn't care. He knows he's the president and Musk is not the president and never will be. But what he doesn't want to be is an unpopular president with no legacy. He wants the Trump library. I mean, what does he do after he leaves? He can't change the law and run a third time. That's just talk. He wants the library. He wants to be respected. He wants people to want him to come around the world. And if
He's
Musk...
going to build Trump Mars.
That's right.
All these rocket men in his pocket.
That's right. I mean, there's a man talking about buying whole countries. I want to own green.
Yeah.
So that's how he thinks. If Musk gets in the way of that self-image that he has, as unrealistic as it may be, that is where you're going to start seeing division.
All right, my royal family. Let me shut that down. All the way. Take that presentation away. Let me take that one out. Okay. I'm a person during the retrograde phase. I like paying attention to politics to see how it affects how the effect retrograde affects politics. So I'm really paying very close attention to this. Yeah, I'm having some issues, my family. Just gonna have to bear with me on this one, and all. But I was making the connection where when Elon and Marco Rubio clash, Elon came in with a stank attitude because his rocket failed. Now they telling him you got to put on a suit because he coming there in a t-shirt and all. So he already got his ass on his shoulders. But see, this is a prime example of the enemy think they have all this vast control, and they don't even realize these planets that Yahweh control. He's controlling all their movements at the end of the day. It's just amazing. It really is amazing about retrograde. And it's going to get worse. Oh, trust and believe. It's going to get worse, my royal family, and all. And this is an example where Elon fell right into the hands of a retrograde and the effects, how that planet can affect the rockets, his decision making, and and then we look at Trump, how he wants to rush everything and all of that. I really paid close attention to that, and 9 times out of 10, things go haywire. Okay, as we continue on, my royal family, there's folks that got to go to work and got to go to school. I cannot overemphasize to y'all, break your routine and leave a half an hour to 45 minutes earlier than you normally do, because you're going to see freak accidents. Keep in mind, there's going to be delays. It's always going to be some kind of delay. And I had a weird sensation run over me a few years ago. It was during the retrograde phase. And I'm at the store and I'm listening to the people while I'm checking out. And I hear this woman say, wow, there was a crazy accident in my neighborhood. Somebody hit the fire hydrant. Then the car jumped over the fence and hit the people's house. There's always accidents, but it's more freak in nature. And I felt one with the universe because I knew what was going on. It was the weirdest sensation. I didn't even know I was going to even have anything like that. Because I really be trying not to get so distracted. I mean, you know, we all out here trying to survive in Babylon too as well. That's why I say pray and meditate and listen to the universe. Don't fear this stuff. This is a real good time. If you ain't talked to some family members or some near and dear friends, kick it with them. Don't always keep paying attention to what's going on with Elon and Trump at all, but catch yourself. You're like, you know, you just about to clash, and usually it's the closest person to you. And just back up, let it go, relax. Don't be in a rush about things. You know, just think about what I'm saying. Because I didn't have to catch myself a few times. I'm like, ah! And just this week, me and my husband had to deal with some family members that had failed all the way out. All the way. I mean, it was disrupting the family. And the head of the family, which is my husband, he stepped in and smoothed things over. Now everybody good. But I mean, they fell all the way out. And I keep telling this particular family member, I notice every retrograde, they have a knockdown, drag out argument. Because usually when people argue, they hell bent on being right and being heard. As long as I've been married, I know some of y'all been in some long-term relationships. After a while, that stuff ain't worth it. You know, I'm not trying to have the last word. I'm trying to have some peace in my house. It's already a bunch of drama going on out here in Babylon. Don't bring Babylon in your house. You know, and that negative type of energy. All right, my royal family, that is very important. Now, before I get into the next video, is there any questions that the royal family have about Mercury going into retrograde? All right. Okay, let's get into this next one. Let me see here. Remember, I was talking about these bridges. Always one collapsing. Look at this. Ain't nothing gonna be said. I just want y'all to look at it. This is in Belgium. Look at that. Awful. Every retrograde, without failure. That's major. I worked on projects. The last job I worked on, I built a bridge. That is major for a bridge to collapse. Look at that. Ooh, wait. That ain't no joke. Okay, let me get the next video. Let me take that one down. Get into this next one. This is the same bridge. Watch this. Look at that bridge. Damn. Y'all see that come down? Look at that water shoot over. So they looked like they was doing some type of construction work. So there was a traffic diversion. Whoa. That is major. That is no damn joke. They would look like they was doing some demo work or something. And based on my research, I think 2 people died in that. I'm going to play that one more time. Oops. Let me go back. Oops. Let me refresh that. Watch it again one more time. Here it go. Whoa. That was a Joe ass move. Here it come. Wow. What a shame, what a shame. Look at all that water. Okay, let me stop that presentation. Take that video down. That was in Gloria, that was in Belgium. And I was just pointing out every single retrograde somewhere in the world, it's a bridge collapse. I've been able to show it so many times. And they were doing some type of construction work there, and they were diverting the traffic. That is crazy. I remember one time I showed y'all a video somewhere overseas that people were at a ski resort. I don't know if y'all remember that. And, there's a point where you get off the little lift, and that thing went crazy. It was slinging bodies all over the place and everything and stuff. So the effects of retrograde, like I said, in my household, I've had microwaves blow up, vacuum cleaners go out. I had to find another position in my house because I normally do videos on my desktop, but this time I did it on my laptop, and I wasn't in a good location in my house, and it seems to be a lot better because I don't see anybody saying anything about it. But the question, so I'm going to ask the royal family a question. The people that been knowing about retrograde, are you conscious or aware that we are in the retrograde phase? That's the first question I want to ask the royal family. He said high IQ. Y'all funny. Is there anything Did y'all want anything else that y'all want to know? Oh, somewhat, Gloria. You just got in here, right? Somewhat. It ain't that complicated, my royal family. Yeah, sometimes you can feel off. I have picked up that type of energy. Like I said, I can sometimes during the retrograde phase, I can feel the weight of the universe, but you can also be feeling off because there is a lot of negativity going on. See, people are taken out of their comfort zone. You know, people are losing jobs. You know, ever since Trump then got back in the office, it's been a high level of drama, a high level of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I usually mention it to y'all when Mercury goes into retrograde. So it's going to be all this month and all next month. And there's no need to fear it. It's just a few things that you got to be aware of. Communication is an issue. People are going to be arguing. It's going to be freak accidents. It's going to be delays. What do you do during that phase? Try your best not to get into anything new. Let me see here. It might be a problem with it, Queen. It might be a problem with that truck. You're welcome. You welcome, Gloria. I'm always talking about retrograde. But my key thing is I don't want y'all to fear it. Because like I said, what the enemy cannot conquer, they want you to be afraid of it like they are afraid of it. And then they're going to tell us that it only lasts for 3 weeks, and it don't. I've been able to prove that. Lisa even sent me an article a couple of years ago. It was an article that I read to y'all from Yahoo. And they had said the exact same thing that I had said about retrograde, that the forces from that planet is felt and affects people. That's my job to remind the royal family about retrograde. I make a point of that. You know, I make a point of it, like I'm doing right now. Yeah, I believe that. That means, yeah, I believe that. Because I'm always studying about retrograde. Like I said, the first time I ever heard of that word when I was 9 years old, my father was teaching me about it. And I took my father for granted. He would always let me know when Mercury was in retrograde. Because my father he knew about all them planets. And so I knew what that meant. But then when my father passed, I had to take the time to study it. And I have not stopped studying about it and paying attention to the universe. Queen, what I'm trying to say is it might be a whole bunch of problems with it. Because usually, see, my husband had bought my son a used car. And my husband had forgot that it was the retrograde phase. And every single time this man buy a vehicle during the retrograde phase, it don't work right, or he have to dump a lot of money into it. You know? Okay, I got to keep that in mind, the negativity. And I guess there's been from the last 2 weeks a lot of, okay, so you're aware, you because you'll say, what is going on? Why is folks acting negative? Why this is happening, that is happening? But see, the thing is, if you go out there and research Mercury and retrograde, and you're going to be reading basically off of platforms from the enemy, they want you to fear it because they're afraid of it. You ain't never heard of it. Then one day over here on the True Royal Families channel, and I'm talking about it, and you done survived it all this time. So why start being afraid of it? Just respect the damn planet. Well, see, this is how it is. You still got to live your life and deal with your immediate situation. And you just got to really carefully vet those new jobs. Because I can't emphasize to you, be careful about what you sign during that phase, especially anything big and major. Wow, I hate that, Jewel. Man, I wish I had this info on Thursday. My daughter made a major purchase and it did not go well. Yeah, I hate when I hear stuff like that. No, keep doing what you're doing. Keep looking for the job because you've been doing this for a while. It ain't like you just started this today. You know, the key is not jumping around trying to get into anything new. Don't stop living your life. But I don't want us to live in a state of fear because you still got to live your life. Yeah, you will notice that there's going to be delays. And I tell you, I was watching a case over in South Africa where it was about 11 of these Chinese people that had a business, and they was basically using our folks over there as slaves. They were starving them to death, paying them below minimum wage, abusing them. One child lost his finger and all this kind of stuff. So they was going to sentence them yesterday. So when I went to go see about the sentencing, they delayed it. I wasn't surprised. It's retrograde. It doesn't, it's because I wasn't surprised. That is very common during retrograde, setbacks and delays. I've been anticipating something to come in the mail for the last 2 weeks. And they swore up and down, they mailed it. I ain't got it in the mail yet. Okay, see? Look at that. The first time I heard about Mercury retrograde, I was looking for a new apartment and it was delayed 2 weeks. The apartment manager and I missed each other's calls and she explained retrograde. See, you're using the word delays. Pay attention to the language. It's amazing. You can be watching the news and the language that come out of people's mouth. I said, they being affected by that planet. It's a trip to me. So that's it, my royal family. I just want us to be conscious of what's going on. I don't want us to fear what's going on in this world. We need to continue to separate our energy from the enemy. And it would be things like I was earlier talking about the new year. Our new year is coming in a few weeks and all, because we don't supposed to be celebrating the dead. We're supposed to celebrate what blossom and bloom. You know, our Hebrew brothers and sisters over here and all. But you have survived retrograde and you're going to continue to survive retrograde. Ain't like something major going to happen to you and all. How I literally live my life like it's always retrograde. And what I mean is I'm not living in a state of fear. I'm just slowing down and trying my best of my ability to pay attention. And that, I really think that's how Yahweh wanted to set that up. We can be so wrapped up into the rat race that we'll trip over ourselves at the end of the day. You know? Hey, Queen, I want to talk to you more about that behind the scenes, about your son. I got some ideals on that. So, my royal family, I'm going to leave it right here. Like I said, I didn't want to drag it out too hard and all, but just be mindful. And I'm going to tell you the kind of reaction you're going to get when you start mentioning this to family and friends. They're going to look at you like you're crazy. They're going to laugh at you and all. Because when I first started talking about retrograde on my channel, people thought I was a damn fool. Now I have people emailing me, is it retrograde yet? Is it retrograde yet? And all. And I'm like, you can go study this yourselves. You know? Oh, let me tell you about that. I did some research with the postal system during retrograde, and it's always a delay during that time too with the postal system. Because like I said, I've been anticipating a letter for the last 2 weeks. They swore up and down they had mailed it off, and I ain't got that damn letter. And this is from the courts. No, we are deep. It's not just me. We are. I'm not taking that because this is the royal family. You know, that's how I want to be. I like to be inclusive like that. I don't want to be separated like that. We are deep like that, Queen. You are like that, you know, the overall royal family. So before I shut it down, my royal family, is there any concerns or anything that you're concerned about during this phase? Okay, yeah, and it's clearing up things. That's a trip. And you know what? And see something like that piss you off because you'll be like, I know I put this order out and this person ain't even mailed my stuff out. And me and Lisa join at the hip. When I'm talking to her behind the scenes, that woman is working, getting them packages together. She don't be messing around. Lisa is very business minded. And because I be getting on her like you need to rest. And her son helps her and all, but she don't be playing. And then she'll stop me and say, oh, the postal man is here. Let me get all these packages out. She don't be messing around with that stuff. Oh, it'll be more lessons on retrograde. You don't even have to trip because I'm always, or you can just look through my channel. I'm always talking about retrograde. Always. So it's no need. Don't worry. I pay attention to retrograde. So like I said, it is my duty and my responsibility to remind the family about retrograde. See, we all know some things and we're strong in areas, in some areas we're not strong in. So it's like putting a puzzle together. So I depend on other channels for certain things that I go to. And so that's my focus, is retrograde. I have a backup channel that I rarely use. It's called True Royal. So don't jump to conclusions so quick. If you feel something coming on, just back up. And eventually, I pray that some of y'all get to that point where you could feel what's going on. It's a weird sensation. It's like when I had that sensation and I heard that woman talking in the store, I really felt one with the universe that day because I knew what was going down. You know, people talking, oh, this going on. I had an argument with this person. I'm just listening. It's just echoing. And my husband was standing. I said, do you notice what these people are saying? And then he started listening. He said, oh, because he know I'm always talking about retrograde in the house. Yeah, he's slowing you down. Yeah, he'll do that. He does that to me. You know? So don't fear it, my royal family. Just respect it. At the end of the day, you done survived it all this time. Yeah. And like I said, this is a great time to be creative. This is also a great time to do your spring cleaning too. That's what we're doing around here. We done pulled things back, shampooing the carpet and all. It's real good to be active and put that energy into your household. Deal with your immediate situation so we don't get so distracted with all this Elon and Trump stuff, because they gonna fall. We watching a empire fall before our eyes. It is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. I read it in the history books, but to live it in real time is amazing. It really is. Because I keep saying, this is all about reclaiming our throne. See, the way my mind works, I'm already on the throne. You know, I didn't put my energy over there. The way my mind works, I already imagine in my mind what my mansion is going to look like in heaven. You know, I got the music piped in. It's all gold and silver and diamonds and all that kind of stuff. I just let my imagination go and stuff. But what we're looking at is fear. That's what we're looking at. And then they worried about us. Why would you be worried about us? Look at it with your spiritual eyes. At the end of the day, we don't have to cast out one bullet. They casting it out themselves. I've never seen this much disruption in my life. And all we got to do is not let the enemy lure us out in the streets, because they ready to bust some heads. There's different ways we can do things. You fight with your dollars. We crushing these corporations. Oh yeah. You know, right now, I ain't shopping on Amazon. And I don't shop at Target at all. You know, I'm going to put another video where and I did this a long time ago, where I'm gathering up all the different Black-owned companies that sell toilet paper, sell dishwashing liquid, laundry detergent, water, cereal. I'm gonna do a whole nother video on that. I'm pulling all that data together. And then I'm still busy trying to launch my toothpaste line. I'm gonna be selling toothpaste to the royal family. I'm just gonna sell one thing, because I got so much going on in my life. I can't do a bunch of products like that. But it's you know, even though I got one item I'm gonna sell to make it right for the royal family, I had to get the right tubing, the right labels, and I didn't want to short the royal family, because they had these little flimsy tubes with only 3 and 4 ounces that you could put toothpaste in. I wanted something much bigger. I want you to feel like you ain't being burnt, because I don't want to feel burnt. So it's got to be the best. So Lisa said, don't rush it. And I said, okay, I'm going to slow my roll. It's not as easy as what you think. Yeah, it's fine to email me. Let me put my email in here so I can get on off here, because I got to get over there. Lisa going to be doing Bible study in a minute. Let me see here. Okay, there's my email. So my royal family, I'm going to get off of here and just be mindful of the universe. Ashe to the royal family.